Hello everyone, welcome to Embedded Systems course with Arduino. In last session, we saw extensively on the functioning of 4x4 keypads, that how if you press a switch, it is recognized by Arduino. In today's session, we will connect these keypads with Arduino and interface also with an LCD which will display the text or the character which is entered by this keypad, right? We also saw on the functions or the inbuilt libraries which are used for coding these keypads, right? How we can introduce the functions in our code which can be used to interface keypads with Arduino. So let's go over Tinkercad and start connecting our circuits. Right, so as we always say that right, you can go over create, click on circuits and start creating your new designs, right? So let's click on this, right? So if you click on tinker this, the circuit is opening. Let it open. So now here in the components window, right, you can search your keypad and you will get this keypad 16 cross 2 which you can pull it over here, right? And as you know, as you see over this keypad, we had discussed in the last sessions that there are 8 pins, 4 for rows and 4 for columns, right? So if you see here, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. So we will need to connect these 8 pins to the Arduino, right? And then include this and declare this connection, right, through the keypad libraries which we had introduced in last session. So first, let's see all the components which we need, right? So in the components we have the Arduino, we have the breadboard, we have the LCD, and we have the keypad, 4x4 keypad and a 16x2 LCD. Now 16x2 LCD connections remains exactly the same which we had seen in our session when we were directly interfacing LCD with the Arduino. So what I have done is, right, first I have provided the ground and the 5 volts power supply to the breadboard, right? So this minus row is at grounds, the plus row is at 5 volts. Now I connect my ground to the ground pin over here, the minus row, right, the 0 volt. Now this is your power, so I provided 5 volts here. Now this is V which is used to control the contrast as we had discussed, right? So now we are providing 0 volts to this, right? Now this is your resistor select, whether you have to select the command resistor or the data resistor. This gets controlled now by the D7 digital pin 7 of the Arduino, right? And now you have this read or write. Since we are always in the write mode, so we have connected this to 0, right? If you connect to 1, it means read, 0 means write. Now this enable pin has to be driven by pin number 6, digital pin 6. So that is what we are driving, right? Now we are again connecting this LCD in a 4 pin mode, right? So D4, D5, D6 and D7 are connected to pin, the 5 pin D5, D4, D3 and D2 respectively, in that order, right? And then this is the backlit pins which are used, right? So one is to ground and the other is to the 5 volts, this one. Let's mark this as red wire, right, to supply the 5 volts and the 0 volts to these anode and the cathode LED backlight pins, right? So the LCD connection remains the same exactly, right? The only difference, if you remember, in last LCD interfacing session, we had connected to 11th and the 12th pin for the resistor select and the enable. But that we have just moved to D7 and D6 for now, right? So that it is consolidated at one point. Now let's connect the keypad, the 4x4 keypad, 8 pins we have to connect, right? So let's start connecting it to the digital pins, right? So we take this pin and we connect to pin 13, right? We take the row 2 and connect to D12. We take the row 3 and connect to D11, right? Now we take D4, row 4, and we'll connect this to D10, right? And now we'll take the column 1, connect to D9. We'll take column 2 and we'll connect to D8. Now the basic digital pins 2 to 13, right, are now configured to row 1 to row 4 and column 1 and column 2. Now column 3 and column 4 are still left, right, but you have two more still left which have some other functionalities, as we had discussed in the very first session on Arduino, that these can be used at TX and RX also, but these can also be used to connect this. So we will connect this to D1 and column 4 to D2, the RX, right? One minute, let's again connect this, right? So now the connections are all made, right? All the four row pins and all the four column pins, now the connection is made, right? Now let's start coding for this, right? So the requirement here for this is, right, first we will display some hello world, right, and then we will go over this keypad, right, and we will try to input certain characters, press the buttons, and that should get displayed on this LCD. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Okay, so now, so you can press the character hello world, you can write here, right? Now let's start from the very beginning. We include the two libraries, right? The keypad.h and the liquid crystal.h. So you can include the libraries which are used for, right, interfacing the LCD and the keypad respectively, right? Now you have I told you that to initialize or create an object of keypad type, we had certain parameters which were input to the function, right, the keypad function. So that we had a 2D array, so where we had to give this mapping, right? So this is what we have declared as the that 2D array, the key map, how the keys are mapped. So this is those this is that mapping, this is the 2D array, right? Now rows are 4, columns are 4, those were also the two parameters. And what is the connection of the Arduino pins, right, to the row columns and the connection and the pins, the digital pins which are connected to the column pins, right, of the Arduino. So 13, 12, 11 and 10, right? So you see 13, 12, 11 and 10 are connected to, right, row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4, right? This is what the connection is. Now for the column pins 9, 8, 1 and 0, right? Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, right? So we have declared these parameters which will now be an input to the keypad function, right, to initialize or create an object of the keypad type. Now you see here, right, I declare a variable or an object, right, instance of the keypad as a custom keypad. This is the variable. Now taking this inbuilt function, since I have included the library keypad.h, so I am comfortable now in introducing this inbuilt function keypad, and I will first pass the 2D array which stands for how the keys are present on our uh, a keypad, right? 1 2 3 4 a, this is the same what we have written here. Second parameter is the connection of Arduino pins. We declared an 1D array, right? How the Arduino pins are connected to the row pins, that information we need to provide. Then the column pins, then the number of rows and the columns, right? So all we had declared, and that is what we are just providing to this keypad function and creating an object of object called custom keypad, the variable, right, and of keypad type, right? Also, let's get back to our LCD concepts and also initialize how the liquid crystal LCD right, we need to create an LCD object so that we can use the inbuilt functions from the LCD liquid crystal library, right? So we create an LCD object, right? And we declare the 7 6. So register select and the enable, right? First is the register select, second is the enable. So if you see 7 6 register select enable 5 4 3 2 to D4 D5 D6 and D7, right? The 4 pin mode we are connecting LCD. So we now created an LCD object of the liquid crystal type, right? So we have both the objects which we can use to access inbuilt functions of the keypad and the LCD respectively, right? Now let's do the one-time setup, right? So we always have to initialize the LCD. So we say LCD dot begin 16 columns and 2 rows, right? Now we'll print the hello world, right? We'll wait for 2000 milliseconds or 2 seconds, right? And we'll then clear the screen, right, and set cursor at 00. Now post this, we will keep on, we want to monitor whatever we are pressing on the keypad, right? You keep on pressing anything that should get monitored and it should be put as an output to the LCD, right? So this keypad is an input and LCD is an output, right? So we said that we have how you scan what key is pressed. We have the get key function of the keypad library, right? So we'll use the dot get key, and this was an object custom, right? Custom keypad was our object, and of that object we are accessing the get key function, right? Dot get key, right? And trying to know which key was pressed, and we take that in a variable char variable custom key, right? And we will print that variable onto the LCD, right? So if the custom key is true, then it prints the custom key, right? So get, if it is able to get that key, right, and this is true, then only it will print the custom key. Okay, so you, I hope you get the point. We have just done the initializations, right? First we have created an object of the liquid crystal type and the keypad type. Custom keypad is an object of keypad type and LCD is an object of liquid crystal type. And then we just initialize it, LCD dot begin, right? And we try to display whatever we want to, some text, right? Now in the loop function, since we want to keep on monitoring, there we want to, where there we get the key or whatever is pressed from the keyboard using this get key function of the keypad library, and just print it out, right? LCD dot print that character. Okay, so let's run this, right? So hello world is printed, it will wait for 2 seconds, right? And then it will get cleared if you see this code here, right? So LCD dot print, right? It printed hello world, waited for 2 seconds and disappeared. Now cursor is set as 00, right? You can also give a blink, so it will blink at that point, LCD dot blink, right? And now let's do a loop. We want to keep on monitoring, right? So let's press 1. 1 got entered, right? You see on the keypad. So I pressed 2, 2, right? I pressed 5, 5 got entered, right? I pressed hash, hashtag entered, right? D got entered, right? T got displayed, star, C, anything you can enter, right? So this is what we provide the input in the loop function, which keeps on repeating forever, right? We are monitoring the inputs and we are displaying it, printing it to the LCD, right? So this is what this code is doing, right? So now let's stop this, right? And let's see what happens, right? LCD dot blink, right? Let's see how the cursor is set and it behaves. Okay, so hello world, now you see here, right? It's blinking, right? So it's waiting for us to provide the input. Let's provide any input, right? 8. Now it will bring onto the next character, right? D, right? You can press 6, right? So this is how star, right? You can keep on pressing and it will keep on monitoring and it will then print. So this is what the keypad does, right? And very often used for creating door alarms, security alarms, right? All the digital locks are based actually on this concept, right? So now you can also create a project where you can, make a hardware project, taking physical instances of all this keypad and Arduino and LCD, and create a sort of lock and all that digital locks, right? So I hope this is clear to you, right? So just to summarize this, create an object of the LCD and the keypad types, right? Initialize it, right? And then just in the loop function, since we want to keep on monitoring what is your input, you monitor it using the get key, get that character, and just display it to the LCD, right? So this is what will happen. Okay. So thanks for joining.